The first inductee we welcome into the Hall of Fame this year has spent her entire career dedicated to preserving the legacy of the American West. She is an accomplished artist whose ongoing quest is for authenticity as she preserves and recreates clothing and costumes. Cathy Smith has been a longtime friend of the museum and is currently exhibiting her work in an exhibit called Hanskaska, The Shirt Wearers, Plains Indians Art of Cathy A. Smith.
2013 Cowgirl Hall of Fame honoree, Cathy Smith. As a self-proclaimed daughter of the American West, it's no wonder that Cathy Smith and the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame found one another. Smith is a highly sought-after artist, and her work is known internationally for its beauty and historical accuracy. Cathy was raised on a cattle ranch in western South Dakota, where she grew up riding, living off the land, and caring for the livestock. It was there that her lifelong fascination with history began. Cathy recorded the tales of her grandparents and other Deadwood natives. Before long, her interest was piqued by their Lakota neighbors. Her visit to the neighboring reservation culminated in her being taken as a daughter in the Hunka ceremony by Kenneth Youngbear, his wife Darlene, and their family of the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. Kenneth was the last of the old-time medicine men and was a Sundance leader and healer. He taught her their ways and put her on the sacred mountain to fast and seek a vision. He mentored her to become a sundancer and pipe carrier. She was taught porcupine quill work in the sacred way by the last of the holy women quill workers and continues to carry on this almost extinct tradition. As a girl, Smith learned to brain tan deer and buffalo hide and sew buckskin with an awl and sinew, skills that would prove to be invaluable. Through this intimate connection with the culture, Cathy became an expert on Plains Indian material, culture, costume, and religion. She shares her passion through films, lectures, writing, painting, and costume design. Her work is well known for its adaptation to film. She has designed costumes or acted as a consultant for over 24 projects. She received an Emmy Award for excellence in costume design for the television miniseries Son of the Morning Star. And her work on the epic Western film Dances with Wolves, starring Kevin Costner, set the standard for authenticity in Western filmmaking and resulted in the nomination of an Oscar for the film's costume designer. Cathy is the expert on creating authentic Native American costumes. She restores original artifacts for museums and collectors and creates custom clothing for clients worldwide. Beyond this, the artist lectures on the art and culture of the Western Plains at museums and events from the Smithsonian to Christie's auctions. She has exhibited nationally, including at the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame and the Charles Russell Show. Beyond her acclaim and achievement, she considers her greatest success to be her daughter, Jennifer Jessie Smith. Jennifer is an artist in her own right. She attended the Art Institute in Chicago, where she studied sculpture and is now an accomplished silversmith and jeweler in Santa Fe with a growing following. Cathy has a studio in Nambe, New Mexico, where she continues her lifelong passion of perfecting her craft. For her dedication to the artistic and historical preservation of the beautiful American West, we proudly welcome Cathy Smith into the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame.
Please help me welcome to the stage our 2013 honoree, Cathy Smith.
Well, ain't it hell to go first? I tell you. It's just always hard to see yourself on a video as well. But as Will Rogers said, the secret to writing your memoirs is when you put down all the good things you ought to have done and you leave out the bad things you did do. I have to say that it's just humbling to join the ranks of all your heroes. And most of my heroes are here in the Cowgirl Hall of Fame. And I am honored and humbled to be included here in the ranks of this stellar cast of women, including Mary and Eleanor and Lizzie, who are up here with me today. I was going to name all the rest, but Pat and Diana told me I only had 3 minutes, so I better hurry up. But never in my wildest dreams did I expect to be here. So first of all, I have to thank all the people who made it possible for me to be here today. And I have a little list here, and I'm gonna go quick. First off is my mom, who made the long trip from Montana, and my own personal hero, my big brother and veterinarian who takes care of my horse from Montana. My dad, who passed over the Great Divide last year and would have loved to have been here, I think, anyway. My grandparents, who taught us to be cowboys and cowgirls out on the ranch in South Dakota. And my Lakota family, Darlene and Kenneth Youngbear, who taught me the skills and values that I value the most. And one last person, Mrs. Bertha Hump, who was the granddaughter of the great warrior Hump and mentor to Crazy Horse, who passed her double woman dream on to me. I think she would be very proud to see all the quill work in my exhibit across the street. And I invite all of you to come over and see it as well afterwards. And I have to thank all of my friends sitting around here who have celebrated with me throughout this life. And most of all, my daughter, Jennifer Jessie Smith. She was by my side in all of my adventures across the West, from living in teepees to making movies, and she lived through it and grew up to be quite a beautiful and creative young woman. And last but not least, thank you to all the great women here at the Cowgirl Hall of Fame, Pat, Riley, and Emmy Lou, who have taken such good care of me, Diana Vela and Ashley Henderson, who took such great good care of my Hunchkoshka collection, Sarah, Bethany, Lauren, and all the rest of the crew, even including Tommy, the one man who put out a lot of fires for us last week when we were trying to hang that collection. And to all the board members who work behind the scenes, thank you with all my heart. Lastly, I'd like to say how proud I am of the work the Cowgirl Hall of Fame does to honor women's contributions. And to that end, I want to share a very small story with you. In 1876, there was a Northern Cheyenne woman who was honored as a warrior by her people because she rescued her brother in the Battle of the Rosebud, which was a week before the Little Bighorn. His horse was shot out from under him, and he was about to be ridden down by General Crook's scouts. The girl saw it. She jumped on her horse. Her name was Buffalo Calf Road Woman. She rode out into the thick of battle. She scooped her brother up behind her on the horse and galloped him to safety. Not a week later, she fought in the Battle of the Little Bighorn next to her husband, who was unfortunately killed in that battle. When she was an elderly woman, she was interviewed, and this is what she had to say, and I quote, "A nation is not broken until the hearts of its women are on the ground." In remembrance of this, I'd like to salute the work of the National Cowgirl Museum and all the strong-hearted women of the West, past, present, and future. May all our hearts stay strong. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and congratulations to you once again, Cathy.
And the exhibit opened last night, and so you can see it for the next several months at the National Cowgirl Museum. Please make sure you get over there. The Hunchkoshka collection is amazing. The work that you've done on those I guess you can't call them costumes. It's actually authentic apparel, but it is phenomenal. You owe it to yourself to go over there and see it.